Many people see Marxism as an economic system that's failed everywhere it's been tried, notwithstanding. Right. Today, we're seeing more of a cultural influence of Marxism, aren't we? Describe how that is and what that means. What are the implications?
Well, you know, Karl Marx, his thesis was that humanity is always in conflict over divisions basically of property, divisions of wealth, right? But this class conflict he saw as always coming from inequalities of wealth. Now, as socialists attempted to address that through socialism, they found that it didn't work, but they still had this basic idea that there are these conflicts, these class conflicts. So they started identifying the class conflicts along different lines, along gender lines, along skin color lines, along ethnicity lines, along nowadays sexual preference lines, things like that. All of those become new arenas of class conflict. This is cultural Marxism gone rampant, and unfortunately it's really making a lot of headway in the churches, especially among the young.
Now, you've studied these things, the writings of Marx and Engels and many others. They identified in their writings two cultural institutions that they felt had to be done away with or their power diminished in order for Marxism to succeed. Explain what that is and the implications for that.
Two and lots more, but primarily the family and the church.
Exactly.
Anything that stood between the government, the civil government, the state, right, and the individual. Anything that Roman Catholic political thought has tended to call the mediating institutions. The great Calvinist thinker Abraham Kuyper called them spheres with their own sovereignties, right? Yeah. Anything that would buffer the government-individual relationship and protect that individual from some of the immense power of the civil government, the Marxists want to get rid of.
If the cultural Marxists get their way and can delegitimize the church, emasculate the family, so to speak, removing the influence of those institutions from the culture so that government rises, is there no hope left for us? Or does the power of the gospel still reign supreme? Help me out here.
You know, if the social justice advocates, the cultural Marxists get their way, Venezuela is where we're headed, right? But the fact is, down through history, society after society, nation after nation, has gone through cycles of this sort, and many have recovered. Not always very quickly, and there's always a lot of suffering involved. But the fact is that Jesus Christ said that the very gates of hell would not prevail against his church. As the church continues to grow, and as a former professor of church history, I appreciate the fact that the church went from being, 11 disciples after Judas hung himself, right? 11 disciples to now over a third of all the people in the world profess to be Christians, claim Jesus Christ as their Lord. And the church is still growing worldwide, faster today than at any time in its history. So may we see a great declension here, as we've already seen in Europe? Yes, we certainly might. But Jesus has given us the end game. The end game is he wins. He is the one who is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and the kingdoms of this world will become the kingdoms of our God and of his Christ. This is what we have to look forward to, and he's the one we serve, and we serve him out of love and gratitude for what he's done for us on the cross.
Occupy until I come means Amen. Be busy about the work that's before us, and in the power of God, trusting that his coming will illuminate all things.
Amen to that.
All people.
Yep.
Cal, thanks so much for being with us. Great to
Thank
have
you,
you
Frank.
here.
God bless you. Thank you.